The following show is not intended for children under the age of 17. There will be foul language and adult content. Viewer discretion is advised.
When I'm in my zone, I feel like I'm alone. I feel like I'm unknown to the world that's full of clones. My originality's focused on principalities broken. I'm loaning my heart and soul to the game that's scared to pay it back. And failure is a motherfucker. The strength to go on and believing in another sucker who don't see the vision in you. So you gotta work harder times two. Gotta make it do what it do with the limited sources you have. Your dream is still a fine motivation in you and inspire the world to do. If you love it, then fuck it, get through it. Yeah. Mumble mentality activated. I waited for so long. Get burners out, outweighed. When you see me in my...
All right, it's time for us to do that Wednesday thing. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a very special episode of Gentlemen's Talk on a wonderful Wednesday night. The weather's nice for once in a lifetime. It ain't overly hot, but we here on your favorite pastime. But tonight is going to be the Michael Jackson's Art, Pain, and Human Nature, aka a 2-in-1 type of show where we're gonna break down the biopic that has just came out not literally a few days ago, and we're also going to have a very special Michael Jackson versus featuring Light Michael versus Dark Michael. But before we get into all that tomfoolery and fuckery and all that other type of shit like that, we're gonna do these introductions. All right, so I am the one that they still call Mr. GQ, and hey, you know I'm bad. I'm bad. Come on.
Y'all give me a second. I know I'm still on my computer speakers for whatever reason. It's not picking up my USB. But Mike the GOAT.
What's going on?
Sound good for what it's worth.
What's going on, Mr. Gent? And I love little Michael.
I hate you for that.
I never thought we would get a longest yard reference.
Oh, little Michael.
Show like this. But I'm with it. All right. So we talked about this being a 2-part episode tonight. So it's basically going to break down like this. The first half of the show, we're going to go around, do the round table thing. We're going to talk all things Michael Jackson biopic, burning questions, overall views. We're going to talk about the critics versus the reality of the situation. And then for the second half, the closeout part of the show, DJ Michael B is going to take over, and we're going to hit this Michael Jackson versus because he is one of the few legendary artists that has so many hits. He has 3 separate careers, and 2 of them have so many records that you can literally do a versus for it. So I ain't going to spoil it. I'm going to let DJ Michael B do his thing when it's time for that. So let's get started with the best part of this whole thing. So initial reactions for the movie. I apologize. Let's see. We got Anna Powell. Welcome to the show. What's happening?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
All
right, I'm done. Initial reactions to the movie. Do not take critics at their damn word. Critics really rated this movie for the most part under a 5 on a 10-point scale, which was crazy to me. I get it. They wanted it to be more dramatic. They wanted more of an inside story and things like that. But I think in the essence, they forgot. There's not too much controversy surrounding Michael until the 90s. So when they stopped that bad, there's really nothing more to talk about probably than, and Mr. Gent said it last night, probably than the Diana Ross thing. But other than that, there's nothing to talk about. So,
hey, yeah.
Look, we just got pop-up guests just happening. So it's all right. So welcome, Auntie and Unc. That's just reading what the headline says. So that's what we got going on.
Oh, I know who Auntie and Unc is. Hey.
So Auntie and Unc is my mom and dad. I wanted them on the show because they lived through the hype of the Michael era, pretty much. So like they can give a pretty good insight on how the movie looked and how they went through it. 'Cause they had the outside view of everything that was going on.
Yeah, we did talk about that in our meeting last night. Like for the three of us, well, really, when it's five of us on the screen, it doesn't even matter. None of us were born during Dark Michael, as we like to say. We were all born to Light Michael. I was born in '89, so I was right when he was in between light and dark. He was like light bright Mike at that time. So it's like my first, like my initial first introduction, if you will, to Michael Jackson was literally watching Thriller as a kid and being scared half to death because like, what the hell am I watching on TV right now?
Hey, facts.
Like I thought it was a movie. I was like, oh, this is a music video. That is crazy. So between that and Remember the Time and Black or White, three of his phenomenal video projects that went down.
But back to initial reaction for the movie. Yeah. Initial reaction for me, I went to go see it twice. The first initial reaction, I was like, dang, they showed us everything that we knew. Cool. That's fine. But it was the moments of like the concerts and him singing and seeing Jafar. I'm like, that's Michael. That's like I feel him. Like I feel that his voice speaking through him. And that's what kind of just changed the whole trajectory of the movie for me. Because like I had to just stop thinking, oh, this is a biopic. This is Michael right here. I had to mentally think, oh, this is Michael right here. And seeing him like hitting, what was it? Human Nature.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh yeah, that's Mike. That's Mike. Yeah, that's Mike right there. So like it fed the child of me because they can talk about it, about how what Michael did to me when I was a kid. But seeing it the first time, I was like, dang, there's a lot of stuff that they could have talked about, a lot of stuff missing. But the second time, I was able to sit down and actually just enjoy. Yeah, and it was a beautiful flick. Yeah, there's missing things, but at the same time, for what it is and what they could talk about, it was great, honestly.
Okay. Yeah. No. My initial reactions was I was emotional. When I left the theater, I called Mama. It's the first person I called. I was like, Mama, you need to go watch this movie. Like, for somebody who was not born during that era of when Michael was doing what he was doing, I felt everything that was happening in that movie. Like from the Jackson 5 at the beginning to how they literally were doing things that, you weren't doing that type of stuff when they were little. Like little Michael was a savant of music. He was ahead of his time. Like to have that polished of a voice at so young and be able to go to these carnivals and stuff and have people like absolutely losing their mind. It was like, okay, there was the Jackson 5 part. Then we get to like the early Michael stuff. And it was just like every concert, every interaction, it was just like, man, I was like, I kept feeling those emotions of what was going on through that movie. And my absolute absolute did not like Joe one bit for what he was doing. But I was like, I gotta step. And I think it's because I'm a parent now. So like I see it differently than like if I was not a parent and I saw it. But then like we talked about in our meeting last night, which we'll get to towards the end of the show, I understood what Joe was doing. It's just the delivery was not the best for what happened. But overall, for it being basically the part one of a 2-part, possibly 3-part movie, I said it last night and I'll reiterate it. It's gonna, when it's all said and done, it's gonna go down as a top 5 biopic of all time. I truly believe that. We talked about it last night in the meeting as far as like relatives capturing family members. This is going to be one of the best you've seen. Like out before this, we saw, O'Shea Jackson being his dad in the Straight Outta Compton film. We were like, okay, that was pretty dope. But then to see Jafar take over and do Michael like this was absolutely just phenomenal. And of course, the fact they literally resemble each other in so many different ways was crazy.
Yeah.
So, Mom, Dad, welcome to the show. What we got going on?
Hello, everyone.
Hello, everyone. I guess the one movie that I think of that resembles or comes close to what this biopic does is Ray with Jamie Foxx, to where you have someone that totally epitomizes the individual that they're playing. And to have the nephew of Michael playing Michael, that speaks volumes. And pretty much having all of the family supporting it except for one.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Well, for me, I did thoroughly enjoy the music. It was, it was definitely a concert and very emotional, because, we were young during that time, but at the same time, we did see basically the rise of Michael. I remember when Off the Wall came out and having the record, the little record and all that kind of stuff. And, it took me years to realize one of my favorite, that's it. One of my favorite Michael Jackson songs is Ben, and to realize that was literally about a rat was, it touched my heart, and you sing it and it'd be just so heart wrenching, and it was about a rat.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Well,
I remember that song. I learned about that in high school because I listened to that song. I listened to Ben like 5 or 6 times, and then like somebody's like, that's about a pet rat. I was like, what? So I did what all millennial kids do, and I went to AZ Lyrics and pulled the lyrics. And I was like, let me just read. And I was like, yeah, he was talking about a damn pet rat. Like that was really a thing. Like, but it was such a great song though.
Yo, AZ Lyrics is a flashback from the past, bro. Oh my God.
Well, I got a memory for you. I remember being a small kid and my mom saying, if you want to watch Soul Train, you're going to have to get all your chores done early because the Jackson 5 was going to be on Soul Train. Not only were we able to having all of our neighbors, my classmates that are now graduated, that graduated with me, but all of my friends all came to Mama Sim's house, and we were all doing the Soul Train line, watching the Jackson 5 at Mama's house. One of my favorite memories.
That sounds accurate. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Listen, culturally, some people won't understand what you just said. That is core memories right there. Everybody piling up at one house to do one thing, and everybody, look, you ain't got to call and check on nobody. You know where everybody at. If you get in trouble, you get in trouble with that mama, your mama, everybody mama is like, I love that.
Hey, I got one for you guys. Before Soul Train came on, we heard, hey, hey, hey.
Oh, man.
If y'all caught that, then y'all know what I'm talking about.
Oh, man. No, that's man, not the Fat Albert reference.
We know.
We know. And while we kind of transition, I do want to put that one back on screen just for a second. Ethan, appreciate you popping in. Lincoln with Daniel Day-Lewis was a phenomenal film. I remember when it first came out, I was actually blown away by that one. That one was put together very well. So I can understand why he would say that it's one of the best. But that was a very well produced and put together biofilm for real. So I actually have a question for mom and dad, because y'all will be able to answer this question better than anybody else. Because we talked about this last night, but y'all kind of lived through this. So we're going to talk about the iconic Pepsi scene. So you've seen both Michael Jackson films.
Yes.
Which one, in y'all's opinion, was more realistic? In y'all's opinion, which one was better? The one from the newer film, or the one from the old school film with the blowing up of the hair?
American Dream versus Michael. Really.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard to say because we were on the outside. So, you hear the report, Michael Jackson rushed to the hospital and things like that. I think the American Dream was more intense, maybe.
Yeah.
More descriptive, or showed more. The Michael, it was, for me, it probably was more emotional, because now I blame Joe for it. Before, I didn't blame Joe. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So now it's like, if Joe wasn't doing what Joe does, then that wouldn't have happened to Michael.
Yeah.
So it made me mad. Before, I'm thinking Michael's just living his best life, doing Pepsi, the commercial, yada or whatever. But now it's more emotional with the new one. So I can't really say.
Well, for me, I think the second one, I think the new Michael pick is the one where it, just like she said, it does affect the emotional, but what transcended the message was the fact of seeing Michael going through the burn unit. Now we heard about that, but to see him actually, so the bodyguard giving that information about him going and doing what he did was something that transcended the actual event for me, because I think him going to go work with the other kids in the burn unit caused him to be a better Michael. And I think that the second one, even though the first one was very intense, like she said, but that second one, because the emotion was there, but they gave you background information to see him as he's healing, he's still working with kids. He never stopped working with kids.
Still thinking about others, and doing what he did,
Which that was an amazing scene, and I'm glad y'all said that, because when you really do think back to both films, in the original film, they didn't give you a lot of backstory. A lot of us, like me, I would have never known that the reason the Pepsi thing even happened is because Joe was trying to work with Don King and trying to get all this other stuff going, and all of a sudden kind of trying to get that last little bit out of Michael, and then boom, insert controversy. But now we get Michael in the burn unit, being around these other kids who are never going to get their life back, you know, and Michael's just like, I'm gonna give back to these kids because we're all here together, but that was his like final, we'll say, push, for him to finally move out. And we talked about it last night. Like Bill, the security guard, he was the GOAT. Yeah, like, he was the GOAT.
He was. I was waiting on him to take Joe out.
I was too.
I was hoping to go and just take Joe out.
We thought the same thing as on that last scene when they did the final goodbye, when Bill kind of stopped him. I thought Bill was gonna catch him in the jaw one time.
I was gonna go and give him the 1-2.
I was like, please just chin check it one time. Just
one time. That would, hey, I would go out and cheer. But the other thing that they really, in this particular movie, when he made the emphasis about the money, he said, I want to make sure that these kids, and they've never really emphasized that. They've never really made that to a true point that's what he did with the money.
Yeah.
From the lawsuit, to say, I want this burn unit, I want these kids to benefit from this money. Which was huge.
When he said that scene, like it made me pause, because I was just like, it added to the even more of the legend that Michael really was. Like we talked about it. Like when we put this little list of things together last night, that was a big thing. Like Michael opened the doors for a lot of black artists because of the MTV scene, which I don't think a lot of people knew about the MTV thing until you saw the movie. And it was like, look, you had a CEO from another company who was like, hey man, you need to put Billie Jean on MTV or I'm gonna pull all of these marquee artists. And these were not just no-name artists. He was talking about pulling literal legends at the time. Like when you say the names Billy Joel, you're like, hold on, now these are household names that they was gonna be like, we're just gonna pull them off real quick. And he's like, all right, bet. And then look what happened. They hinted about Michael and Prince, but they didn't talk about it enough. But it's like, you compare the two, and it's like you look at what Michael did versus Prince, and it's like Michael was truly worldwide.
Yes.
Like I'd love to find 10 people that absolutely just didn't like Michael, because I don't think you could find them. Like this man was working the Crips and Blood scene should have told you everything you need to know.
Wasn't that amazing? That was amazing.
Because he pulled rivals together,
right?
And then through song and dance, joined them together.
Yes.
And then, of course, the backstory about when he was in Brazil, when the government didn't want to let him film, but then the mobs were like, nah, we're gonna let this man film. Forget all that. We're gonna shut this area down. You're gonna film right here, and we ain't gonna even let them in. Like that, we're just gonna call that the Michael effect.
Yeah.
Like, and it's like what he was doing, and then he was just kind of getting started in this movie. So I'm really looking forward to the second part, because we'll really see the globalization of Michael coming up soon.
Yeah, because it was, when you think about all the scandal and things like that, and to see that he always favored the kids, you know, basically because he didn't have a childhood. And you know, recently watching a little kind of documentary thing, I don't know what it was, that had Emmanuel Lewis in it.
Yeah, it was a documentary.
And he's talking about Michael, how they met on the set of Thriller, and just the heart that Michael truly had for kids, and how the two of them connected because Michael understood what it was to be a childhood, you know, basically prodigy, and not be able to have your childhood. So for me, for them to accentuate in the movie his true love for kids, and that, you know, to know that that had been bastardized in the media, you know, when he was alive, it really, I think it was a good thing that they did do to try to go, you know, a little further to show that he really did truly have a heart for kids, no matter what the situation was, what his situation was.
I have a question for you guys. When you saw the opening scene where little Michael is looking at the kids throw snowballs out the window, and the smile on his face while he's watching these kids play, what did it say to you guys? Because you don't understand from the vantage point of watching him grow up and having to go through what he was going through. But what did it say to you guys?
Well,
Go ahead, Ron.
so when it came down to me, watching him through the window, watching them have fun, is like the wall. I guess the window just portrayed a wall to me of like two different lives that somebody can live, pretty much. So the discipline, I think, like we said, we understand why Joe kind of did what he's doing, but at the same time, it's the way he went about it. Did they have fun? Yes, they could have. They could have had fun. Did they have fun doing the shows? Yeah, they did have fun doing the shows, but it's just the in between of watching the kids go having fun, wishing that I could be out there having fun, and knowing that I can't be out there having fun because I have to work. It's like an adult. You're on social media all day, all the time, seeing your friends go do this, go do that, go to this concert, go out to this club. You're like, dang, I wish I can go out there and have fun, but I got responsibilities I got to take care of. And that's the modern day of that, really.
Yeah. I saw what I like to call physical and mental imprisonment, because he wanted to be a normal kid, but he didn't know what it was to be a normal kid because his whole life had been revolved around music and his family, which is nothing wrong with it being revolved around like your family and stuff, but you still have to have a life outside of your family. Like, we all love our families collectively. Like, we love being around them. But we also understand we have our own lives outside of the family. In Michael's case, it was family and that was it. There was no outside like that, which is why I love the way they built how Michael kept acquiring all his different animals, his friends, as he called them. Like, he kept getting more and more, like, all of a sudden, because I ain't gonna even lie to you, the scene with the chimp, I cackled. I was cackling in the theater. I was loud. I was like, that was the cutest, funniest thing at that time. But I was like, he's like, but that's my friend. He never once referred to them as pets or anything else. Those are my friends, which should tell you like where his mind was. And every time he acquired a new friend or like that, it made me go back to that scene that you're talking about, because he was like, he just wanted to be a kid, but his childhood was taken away from him because Joe was cracking that whip, to use an extreme reference, but that's essentially what was happening. Like, they came back from that show when they went out to Illinois when they first started touring. Right. Like, oh, I thought we did good. And he's like, plug it up. We got to rehearse. And he's like, man, but the kids are tired. And he pulled the belt out. Yeah. And it was like, dang, like, man, this kid like 8 years old, dog. Like, he got to sleep too.
Yeah.
But he just have fun being out there dancing and singing for everybody else.
Sleep? What? Sleep? What's sleep?
There's no time for sleep.
Mm-mm.
What you think? What sleep? What you mean sleep? Ain't no time to sleep.
Yeah, and this is a big one because they built an empire prior to social media.
Yeah,
the way the world would have exploded if social media was a thing when the Jacksons were building what they built.
Oh yeah.
Like, it would have been insane.
Yeah. But the thing I thought about after having time to kind of contemplate and think about the movie was the sacrifice that Joe made as well, because he was still working, you know, in the steel mill, wherever he worked, and he's driving them, rehearsing them. So he made sacrifice too. Now, I'm by no means justifying his, you know, behaviors, but just, you know, he was pushing them just as hard as he was pushing himself. So, you know, and, you know, kind of like Catherine said, like, well, you can say it's for them, but we all know it's really for you. Because, you know, Joe was a musician too, and I guess he, you know, I don't know his backstory altogether, but I know he didn't necessarily make it as a musician, so he saw this as an opportunity for him to shine through the, you know, through the kids or whatever. Yeah. So.
Yeah, and I understood Joe's message from the dinner table scene. You know, when he talked about, you know, having to work twice as hard to get to where you know. So like that, at that point, I was like, I understand what you're saying. I just don't like the way you're delivering the message.
Right. Yeah.
That's really like, I completely get, especially given we're talking about Gary, Indiana, in the early 80s, when things were still kind of not the best for you know, for colored folk. You know, like things were still kind of.
It was in the late 60s. It was 66, 67, because we both were born in 69. So that was prior to us being born, and they were 8. You know, he was 8 years old when that was going on. So here's the thing: the same pressure that they grew up under was what a lot of pressure that I know for me, I grew up under, in regards to where you had to be 100 times better than anybody else.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, or fortunately, that was the same way I tried to raise the boys, which was unfair to them because of the pressure. And they necessarily didn't understand where that pressure was coming from. But my father was a lot like Joe in regards to the fact of when it came down to education and the sports, we were going to set the bar better than anybody else. So there were so many emotional moments that was going on while we were watching this biopic this time, because of the fact that I saw my father telling me, hey, you got to be better than everybody else. You know, you're going to get this job done. You're going to be smarter than everybody else. You're going to run faster than everybody else. You're going to be stronger than everybody else. So I totally understood from that vantage point of what he was trying to get from the boys. It was just that there was never a break. There was never a time where he said, hey guys, I know I'm pushing you hard, but there's more to this.
Yeah, no, and it's true. And what I will say to what you said about the way, you know, you brought up, you know, you raised your boys and everything else like that. You guys, y'all's generation specifically, played one of the most significant roles in the development of what will go down as one of the greatest generations, which is the millennials. Because without you guys teaching us those hard methods, we don't get through 1989 to 2001. We don't get through the changes of dial-up into the early stages of cell phone. We don't go through the amount of changes that we are still kind of dealing with to get to where we are now the parents, you know, because I guarantee if you swap us and Gen Z wouldn't make it. The way the anxiety and depression and overstimulation would have kicked in, they couldn't have handled parents like you guys. They would have cracked. They would have called CPS. Like, nah,
facts.
My mama yelled at me today. Like, come get me. Like, they weren't bred for that. Whereas at least we were. You know, we grew up with mama cleaning the house on a Sunday, playing R&B or playing gospel. Like, that was a norm. Like, you know what I'm saying? Get out the house until the street. Like, you know, we can't tell these kids to go do that now. They think we abusing them. We think we being mean. Like,
drink some water from the water hose.
Yeah, like,
don't come in the house and get no water.
Listen,
drink the water from that water hose.
You're the most coachable.
Yes, you know, that part. That part is the coachable part. And you know, it's funny. Y'all brought up the water hose thing. I won't deviate too far, but I saw a video on social media. These Gen Z kids talking about, why'd you guys have to drink from the water hose? Wasn't the sink an option? And everyone's like, no.
You had to go back inside.
First of all,
the sink was not an option.
The door was locked, so no. Like, no, you went to the side of the house or the side of your homeboy house or whichever. Local neighbor was cool with it. Unless you went to the Cool Cup lady house, like you was drinking out that water hose. That's just what it is. Like the Cool Cups, the pickles, you know, like
hot and minerals, rust. But hey,
whatever.
But listen,
made you stronger.
Yeah,
our,
build your immune system.
our immune system is A1 because of that. That's why COVID didn't get us that bad.
There you go. Yeah,
we was
but
we was pre-COVID before COVID.
But I mean, I feel like our generation kind of bridged the gap at some level where we were harsh, but not as harsh.
True, because the silent generation was scary. The generation predating you guys, like they was kind of they was scary.
Yeah, so we tried to do a little bit better, not what for whatever it was worth. We tried to do a little better.
Well, I think it worked because now with us being the parents, we get to pull from how we grew up with what we know about how you guys also grew up, and we get to teach our kids about like, hey, look, this is what this is kind of what you got to do. Especially like someone like me that's a girl dad who's not having any boys, so I'm having to raise my daughter tough because the world is not nice. The world is tough. Yes. So I need you to be strong. I need you to be prepared to go out here and navigate by yourself sometimes.
The hard part about it is being tough but soft at the same time.
Yeah, like being a tough softy like is not an easy thing to do.
Yeah, I yelled at you, but I still love you. Give me a hug.
Like
all right.
Yeah, you can still sleep with me tonight. It's okay.
Yeah, but it's about boundaries, and that's what's important. Knowing yourself and being able to feel the emotions, but having boundaries at the same time. So I can be upset about a thing but still love you, like you said.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, so we talked about Ethan a couple shows back. He's one of my partners I work with. He's a brand new girl dad, so he's going through the fun phase, the newborn phase where they still sleep for the most part, none of the sleep regression stuff, the fun stage. They just eat, sleep, and poop all day. We like that phase. That's fun. Is when they start stumbling and walking, where it's like, oh hell, here we go. Everything didn't happen.
Everything got real.
Put it down.
When my daughter got the Bambi walk, I was like, we in trouble.
Yep. Lock everything up.
Oh, Liz, things been locked up since before she was born. That is not a game. We still got the child locks on the cabinets. We do not play that. I watched enough movies growing up. We don't play with these chemicals.
Yeah.
At all.
I don't think they understand. Your baby was able to hold the bottle at 4 months by herself.
Yeah.
They understand.
They understand. Listen, when you got to multitask, you got to multitask. I'm just you got to do.
Yeah.
So, and something I'm going to bring this question back to Mom and Dad, because y'all brought this up, but we didn't. So I saw the article, but I wanted to get y'all's opinion about how y'all felt about Janet opting out of this film.
For me, kind of thinking about it, I feel that Janet went through a lot of the same kind of pressures that Michael went through. So for her, I felt like it was probably bringing up a lot of trauma for her because, you think about her phase of breaking away from Joe, So, and I know, something I saw briefly about her talking about my family still making money off of Michael or whatever. But for me, I think it's deeper. I thought it was more about kind of trigger. It was probably triggering for her.
Well, my thought process about Janet and her separation from it has a lot to do with Joe, because once Michael was no longer obtainable, Janet was the next option. So that's where his focus went. So now for her to go along with what they're saying about Joe and how he was with Michael and the rest of the kids is almost like blasphemy, so I can't really be a part of it, so that's what I'm gathering from her. She made some comments where she felt like Jafar didn't look like Michael. He didn't walk like Michael. He didn't sound like Michael. He didn't dance like Michael. But I'm like, there's only one Michael. Yeah. And this young man played him better than probably anybody else in this world could ever play him. And to make a choice to say, okay, I don't want to have anything to do with it. Don't put my name on it. I don't want to. And so what Sharon was just saying about, you know, the family making money off of Michael, she didn't want no more. She didn't want to be a part of that, because even in death, Michael is still taking care of his family.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't know that he'd have a problem with that.
No, given Michael's nature, no, not at all. But
no, I don't think
he
has. But the mere fact that because they went at Joe so hard, and even in truth, things are still hard. Two things can be true at the same time. And if you have a problem with what they're saying, you know, and so you choose not to be a part of it. You know? So that's why I feel like that's why she opted out and said, I don't want any part of it.
So I mean, I think it's disappointing because I think it could have been a great thing for the whole family to be on board, because I think it did show Michael in a positive light. And even something I heard, you know, Catherine said at some point she didn't realize, you know, she thought it was Michael on the screen, you know.
Yeah.
So I think it would have just been a great opportunity for family togetherness.
Well, here's the other caveat to that, because just like you said, family is family, and we all have our own devices. We have our own remembrances of what happened when we were growing up, things that took place that happened to me that my brothers may not remember, and things happened to them that I may not remember. But in that same process, just like with Patrick, Shannon, and Sherrod, things happen that they have a different type of remembrance of things taking place. So imagine all of those kids in the same house, growing up with different remembrances, and you're thinking that it would come out the same, but it doesn't. You know, because, you know, the crazy part about it is the fact that once Michael, I did not realize that Neverland, when we say Neverland, I thought it was just Michael's house and his animals or his, you know, his friends, and that was it. I didn't realize Neverland was still home with Joe and his mom and his brothers, and they all still lived in the same house. And to have Joe talking about, I'm gonna get my belt and beat his ass, and he's a grown man. I'm like, oh, wait a minute, hold on. But anyway.
But no, for that's I love the whole thought on that, because it's great, and to kind of put a bow on the Neverland thing, just the fact that he's reading the book, and, you know, Joe is depicted as Captain Hook this entire time, you know, is like, man, this is crazy. Like, never would you would think that somebody would take a childhood book like that and turn it into his life.
Yes.
Right. Yeah.
You know, like that's a beautiful thing for a kid to use his imagination, a sheltered kid at that, unfortunately, who had nothing but time on his hands, to take that and expand that in a way that most people wouldn't have thought about doing. You know, and then to kind of go back on the Janet thing, it's like, well, I mean, you look at that family, like Michael and Janet were the superstars, point blank, period. Like, you know, because Janet, we know Janet's we know her music career, but then she also got into Hollywood and started, you know, acting and doing all the other. So it's like, you know, so when Janet forged her own path, man, she really did separate from the family. Like, she was just out there, just doing it. Yeah, like, she left and she never looked back, you know, and you know, but
we have to go way back to when she was a little girl, and this is the thing that, you know, I was telling Sharon, we were talking about when Good Times, when you start talking about Penny, Lil Penny, when she started acting on Good Times, when they were talking about, there was a scene on Good Times where when Bologna was taking Penny away from her parents because they were abusing her mom because her mom was abusing her. That was a spin. That was always rumored that was a spin on what was truly actually happening to her at her real house.
That's a deep take.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a deep take.
That's crazy.
Man, something about them sitcoms from way back when, boy, they just
They're different.
That's what Gen Z is missing. They ain't got no sitcoms to change their life.
They ain't got
Yeah.
Family Matters,
They don't
got
have they don't got none of them shows. No Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, no Cosby Family, Cosby Show, nothing. They ain't got no kind of shows like that to help define their childhood.
No.
Yeah, that's true. Real Housewives.
Yeah, oof, Lord, gee, God, Real Housewives. What's the other, the hip hop wives or whatever they call them? Like they got the Kardashians. That's their iconic show. You know, it's like
unrealistic.
Yeah, reality TV, which has which they wonder why the dating scene looks so trash now. Well, look what you grew up on. Trash.
Right.
You grew up on trash. You live in trash.
But no, going back to Janet, like I can see why she wanted to opt out. You know, she was upset. I'm pretty sure there's some stuff that she wanted. If y'all gonna do this movie, y'all gotta do it right. And there's a lot of story that they left out.
Yes.
That I feel like she probably was upset that they left out of it. And shoot, even one of the biggest things is the Wiz that they left out.
Yes.
That was a very defining moment in Michael's career. Without the Wiz, you don't have, Off the Wall and Thriller and stuff like that. So
but I mean, it's artistic because of the fact that you can never. It's just like reading a book or a book series, and then you go to see the movie. Mm-hmm. They can't put everything in it. If we did all of Michael's accomplishment in life, it'd be probably a 10-part movie.
Yeah, and it was already a 2-hour movie.
Right.
It was supposed to be 3 hours. But
however, I do think because when you watch that instance of the movie, it's like you could tell where the Wiz was missing, where it would have fit just fine.
Right. Yeah.
It would have fit if they, moved just a little bit, but like there was a perfect spot for it. But we understood, given the time constraint, and realistically speaking, part 2 could almost start in a way where they kind of use that to kind of, branch off and bridge out further. Like, we ain't no telling. It's 2026. We might not even see part 2 until 2028. Like, we don't know.
You're right.
Yeah, or later.
But just something that you guys had said. I think either Sherrod, I think you might have said it. Well, no, yeah. So they talked about with Janet talking about, he don't talking about Jafar not moving like Michael and all this other stuff. I was like, I beg to differ.
I do too.
I thought, like, especially when they do a lot of the side by side stuff. I'm like, look, man, you can tell that young man worked his absolute tail off to capture, because especially we talked about it last night, the Motown 25. He said that was the hardest scene. He said, I was trying to get the camera angles right, the panning. Like, he's like, I was trying to capture every single moment. And to be honest, if you put those side by side, it was pretty spot on. Like, if you were nitpicking at that, then you shouldn't have went and watched the movie at all.
Yes,
because that was put together extremely well. I thought the thriller scene was great. Because what a lot of people missed, and I really don't think people caught this, is when Michael was like, "You got to get my feet." Like, you don't get my feet. When he started talking about Fred Astaire and Charlie Chaplin, it's like, think about that. What kid thinking about people that was about stuff like that? Like, nobody. Right. Like, he's like, without capturing my feet, you miss the essence of
you can't feel the dance.
Yeah, and so
you can't feel it.
And then when you see them literally panting the camera back during the movie, you're like, okay, that was actually pretty dope how they kind of did that. I was like, that was Michael in his savant bag. I was like, I like this. I was like, okay, like.
Yeah, and the fact that they actually went back to the actual location where Thriller was filmed and all that kind of stuff. I mean, to me, it was well thought out.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't rushed. They didn't rush this at all.
Even when they went there, they had a full moon, just like they shot it, during the original video. So it was a special feeling. And when it came down to Jafar and all his research that he done, like he even with the whole dance stuff, he's like, they asked him, hey, can you go do the acting classes? He's like, nah, give me a couple of days to think about it. And then after a couple of days, he recorded his voice for the director. He's like, oh, and then he sung. I can't remember what song he said he sung. But director's like, okay, I'm signing you up for the acting classes. All right, we're gonna meet with the choreographer. And we'll do this, we'll do that. But then once they start opening auditions for Michael, he said, "Oh, I'm going 10 times harder. I gotta go. Like this is my part. I gotta go do this." And that's him embodying Mike, you know, and just going out there because he said he went to their house in Encino, and he said he just made a dance studio out of it. He like, I'm this is gonna be my boot camp. I'm not leaving here. I gotta learn this stuff. This is me and some mirrors. He said, I'm gonna get this right.
Well,
So
he definitely
did
got
his
it right.
research. He did his time. So
Yeah, he did it. He did
Yeah,
it.
anybody that don't think he didn't get that right is crazy because that was tough. Everything he put together for that, like even from the trailer, you could tell like something was different about how this movie was finna go. He's like, hey, he looked kind of smooth, like from a trailer, and like they didn't give us too much. They gave us just enough. We was like, I kind of like this. Like I gotta go see this. Like so, speaking of actors, I wanted to get y'all's opinion on Giuliano Valdi, the young man that played Lil Michael.
Yeah.
Like we learned that he we was trying to figure out, like we didn't know who he was. And then we found out that he's not even American. Like he wasn't born in America, I guess to say. He was actually born in he got like family from like South China or something like that. And we were like, wow. Like yeah. So it was cool. Like but and then I think Micah brought it up. Yeah, seen him on one of the interviews he did, and he started like doing like some of the James Brown moves and all the stuff like that. But it was just like, that young man was talented.
He was phenomenal.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And that's what I was thinking about the other day. I was like, we're going on about Jafar, but Baby Boy did his thing too.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did his thing too. Mm-hmm.
Well, he carried the movie basically.
Yeah.
To set the tone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because truthfully, he's the one that drew me into the movie. Like he locked me into the movie.
Yes.
Like what he was doing as young Michael for the Jackson 5, I was like, hey, I don't know who this kid is. Like I know the movie about Jafar, but hold on, who's this? It's like me going to go be a scout and I'm going to go look at the number one player in the country, and here goes this other random player that I'm like, I don't even know who you is, but you done stole the show. Like what we got going on here?
Mm-hmm.
Like that young man got a bright future.
Yes.
Like he got a bright future because if this is your first time on screen and you played a legend, one of the three legends, you played Lil Michael, which is still a legend, and it's like, and you did it phenomenally.
Yes.
Like you did it phenomenally well, and it was like, man, like and then he talked about, he said the audition was hard. He auditioned like, I think he said like 9 or 10 times. Before he finally got selected. Like, so that tells you, I'd be genuinely curious, like how close was it? Like how many young men were this close for him to be the one to get it? Like, did he blow him out of the water? Like, how did that go? Because where y'all found him at?
Right.
Yeah, for real.
Because
like when it came down to
voice, like
the scene of him doing, Who's Loving You in the studio.
Yes.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Yes.
Man, that was so good.
You
but the fact that this movie captured those little details, like, hey, Michael, don't move your feet in the studio, like, because he's such an active guy. So like for you to catch that multiple times, like, hey, just settle down, don't move your feet, like, but keep your feet still.
It wasn't just about his voice why he was telling him to not move. It was about the fact that now we have technology to hide
those noises,
any discrepancies. Back then they didn't have it. You had to be perfect. Back then, and that's why they moving.
They picked up every sound back then.
Yes.
Yeah, and Sherrod's been to Motown, to where the original studio was, and just to see how simple it was. And how they actually got the Motown sound, the hole in the ceiling and the different little idiosyncrasies that made it the Motown sound. And it was not to the technology.
No.
Hey, listen, old school acoustics and the way the buildings are set up is always a beautiful thing.
Yes.
Especially if you know how to use it.
Yep.
It's really your thing.
Yeah. And that was the thing that, I thought about too after the movie, thinking about Quincy. And when they actually left Motown, and I said, Quincy understood who Joe was, and he was like, you don't come over here and run this. So that's probably why they ended up leaving Motown. I felt like it was a lot of things in the movie that were insinuated, not necessarily addressed.
Yeah, for sure.
But you had to kind of read between the lines to get the, what was going on.
Yeah,
Well,
I didn't. Yeah, go for it.
Go ahead.
No, I was just saying I enjoyed how he was learning the intricacies of learning the studio equipment.
Right.
At such a young age, like he was sitting there like a true, like, hey, I'm locked in. Like, okay, so this does this. Okay, cool. And what about this?
Yeah, Barry Cody the GOAT.
Yeah, because that was really cool to teach a 8-year-old or a 10-year-old. Tell him about lying about his age, but no, a 10-year-old.
Right.
Basically, hey, this is how a studio works. This is how you make the sound louder. This is how you do the reverb. This is how you take the music in and out. Like, who's teaching that to a 10-year-old and they picking it up like it's nothing?
You know, the crazy thing about Motown, what I've learned is the fact that they bred it and gave a lot of artists and taught a lot of artists that they had a lot of things for them to be successful without them.
Yeah.
So like they that's how they grew from them, because they taught them everything they needed to know
to be better and to move on.
Exactly. So when Motown lost its Motown sound, is due to the fact of that we really taught y'all a lot of stuff. We taught y'all how this industry actually works. We taught y'all this, that, and the other, and then y'all leaving us. So exactly what happened.
Yeah.
No, for sure.
Because the Gladys Knight story is crazy too.
No, for sure. So we got one last question I want to get out there, because this is kind of like our comic relief, and then I'm gonna let Micah take over for the light versus dark verses over there. So we talked about one of the funniest scenes in the entire film, and it brought up a very important question: what is worse, getting fired by a fax or on your day off?
Oh.
Because the fax was iconic, because Joe was in the middle of, he was looking at some money stuff, like he was working, like he was in the zone, and he was like, oh, I got a fax, this must be business as usual.
Yeah.
No, Joe, you ain't got a job no more, partner.
Yeah.
Because the bad thing about Joe is he was on his day off and he was fired.
Exactly. It was both. It was both.
Like you took 2 L's in a matter of 5 minutes.
That's crazy.
I wasn't even doing nothing.
Catherine, look at this.
That boy
done fired me. What? On by paper, a piece of paper.
Couldn't even look me in the eye and tell me like a man.
Yeah,
Catherine was proud of her boy.
Oh yeah, she was.
Hey, listen, that was when I seen Catherine chest poke out in that scene, I was like, yeah. I was like, yo, that's what I'm talking about. But I told them last night, I did like Joe's subtle little get back where he was like, I'm thinking about framing this.
Yeah.
Like I was like, I do like that little get back. I was like, you know what? That was a good little get back. Like I get it.
Yeah. And that was crazy because Mike was like, okay, I want to do a solo album. Oh, okay, Mike, that's what we've been waiting for. Okay, but y'all gonna have to fire Joe. Y'all gonna have to tell Joe. Y'all gonna have everybody had to tell Joe or fire Joe. He was not gonna do it, and he's still living under the roof, same roof.
Yeah,
still gotta go home to that. Like,
that's the part about but I'm gonna need somebody else to fire him, not me.
Yeah, I got the belt waiting on you. Come on, have a seat right here.
Can you imagine? Because
if he did it,
because he was in his room, playing Twister with the monkey, with Bubbles and everything like that. He probably like, oh yeah, everybody's asleep. Everybody, you want some ice cream? Cool. Right, everybody in here, and,
Yeah, I've been waiting.
Something going on. What's happening?
I've been waiting on you, son. Yeah, here I am.
Yeah, that was crazy. Okay. I loved it.
Yeah, no, I definitely, I had to close out on that. We talked about that last night. You know what? That's actually a good little comic relief segue type of thing. So, like I said, if we at that point of the show, we're gonna make that transition. Our resident DJ, the GOAT himself, DJ Micah B. I'm gonna let you take over and do your versus thing, my brother.
Well. Since I get to do the versus thing, here's how it goes. We have this thing. We're not going to call it White Mike versus Black Mike. We're going to call it Light versus Dark, right? We're going to compare if there was a versus to do Light Michael Jackson versus Dark Michael Jackson. And I'm going to start with Dark Michael Jackson, obviously. We're gonna do 15 songs. I did say we're gonna do 15 songs, so we're gonna do 50 songs. The MJ era from 1980 to 1987, only 7 years. That's how good he is, right? Billie Jean, Thriller, Beat It, Wanna Be Starting Something, Human Nature, PYT, Say, The Girl Is Mine, State of Shock, We Are the World, Rock With You, Don't Stop Till You Get Enough, Off the Wall, She's Out of My Life, Working Day and Night. And if I want to go even further, I can add Shake Your Body Down to the Ground.
Hey, I like it. We off to a hell of a start.
That's tough. Hey.
We are off to a hell of a start.
Oh, for that. This is a heavyweight match. Like,
This is 100% a heavyweight fight.
And it's the same person.
This is literally what it would look like if it was Muhammad Ali versus Mike Tyson. That's what this would look like. This is it.
blow for blow.
No pun intended on that. Some of y'all didn't catch that reference.
And then, of course, the other Michael Jackson. After Bad. Remember the Time. Black or White. Who is it? Jam, In the Closet, Dangerous. Will You Be There? Give Into Me, Earth Song, They Don't Care About Us, Scream, You Are Not Alone, Stranger in Moscow, You Rock My World, and Speechless. And I just want to add one more like the last one. I'm going to add in She's Invincible to make it 16 and 16.
Mm,
There's so many songs you could have.
man. Yeah. No, for sure. Yeah. No, for sure.
There's more songs we could have added in, but these are his most commercially successful songs. So let's talk about it. You taking 80s Mike or you taking 90s on forward Mike? Let's talk about it.
I'm gonna tell you. Give me the Light Mike list one more time. I want to make sure that this.
Okay.
If this is what I'm thinking. This list, I'm gonna have to go to the other side. But if it has some stuff on there, then I don't know. Go ahead.
Remember the Time, Black or White, Who Is It, Jam, In the Closet, Dangerous, Will You Be There? Give Into Me, Earth Song, They Don't Care About Us, Scream, You Are Not Alone, Stranger in Moscow, You Rock My World, Speechless. And if I had to add something, it would be She's Invincible.
Because you didn't have Heaven Could Wait. You didn't have Butterflies. You didn't have.
Hey! It's ChatGPT. I know.
That's
That's how good Mike is right there. No butterflies, right? So, hey, we can go 16, 17 deep at this point. So,
more than that. But the transition from Dark Mike to Light Mike, as in the fact of coming into the funk soul era to going to the rock pop era is it's so difficult. Because even the Invincible album, that's when he really started getting into R&B.
Yeah,
like,
and mind you, the Invincible was 2001.
That's 2001, and that was
Butterflies,
the least sold album. But you can see how good it was.
Yeah, but Invincible has so many, like, some of my, like, that between that album and Dangerous, like, those are like two albums, like, I don't want to say forgotten about albums, but albums that don't get talked about enough. Like, we talk about the Dangerous album, but most of your people that they talk about the Thriller album, like, they, but the Dangerous album is extremely, in my opinion, is extremely underrated. I love the History album too. The History album, book one.
Yeah.
That's let me say that correctly. His story. Let me say that correctly. His story. Because book one, because like Micah talked about Stranger in Moscow. Stranger in Moscow, which if he wouldn't have said it, was going to be my number one underrated Michael Jackson song of all time. Because Stranger in Moscow,
the Time.
my God, Like,
ChatGPT didn't even add "Remember the Time," but
and
that's
that's diabolical because that is an iconic Light Michael song. Black or White. Hello.
Black or White was definitely on the list, but "Remember
Like-
the Time" not being on the list for ChatGPT is crazy.
Yeah.
Because
But
when it comes, you got dangerous. You got to realize you got Jam. You got In the Cloud.
Circus.
You got Remember the Time.
Jam was there.
I know. I'm just saying. Like I'm just talking about the Dangerous album. You got
Just the album.
Black or White. You got Who Is It? You got
Yeah, Speed Demon.
Will You Be There? You got
No,
Dangerous.
I absolutely have to do this because we were only doing 80s, 90s Michael, but I have to do this. Going back before that, I Want You Back, ABC, I'll Be There, The Love You Save, Never Can Say Goodbye, Dance Machine, Mama's Pearl, Maybe Tomorrow, Sugar Daddy, Looking Through the Windows, Who's Loving You, Shake Your Body Down to the Ground, Santa Claus Is Coming to Town.
Yeah, Ben.
We truthfully could have had the first ever triple threat versus of the same person.
Even with his renditions, Ain't No Sunshine.
Rockin' Robin. We didn't even talk about Rockin' Robin. See that, and that's what I'm saying. Like Mike really had 3 decades of shit.
Which is why I have zero issue saying like what we said in the meeting and what your headline saying about Mike being the GOAT. Like the Michael Jackson movie solidified it for me that Michael won the battle between him and Prince. Prince did what he was supposed to do. Prince was great. Like, but he did not. The global impact of Michael, I'm sorry, is probably the greatest of any human.
Not probably, it is.
Like, I mean, whether you want to use a musician, an athlete, an actor, a president, a historical figure, whatever. Michael is arguably, we fucked that. Michael is the greatest global entertainer, human.
Not even close.
Like,
all right, say
yeah.
this.
Okay. Look at that comment and remember what we was talking about.
Yeah,
the Free Willy soundtrack. We didn't even talk about it.
So the crazy thing is right now, the biggest, I guess, the biggest superstar in the world right now is what? Taylor Swift. And her highest selling album sold 14 million copies globally.
Mm-hmm. In the social media era.
Michael's Worst sold 14 million copies globally, and that was Invincible.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, different time frames though. I will say that different time frames.
But still,
that's fine. But the argument will be made that it was harder for Michael than it was for Taylor Swift.
Because you have to sell those. You
had to sell them. And Taylor Swift had the advantage of social media, and like, yes, they all these newer artists unfortunately lost.
Right.
They lose numbers to streaming. They lose numbers to streaming.
But the flip side is Michael didn't lose numbers to streaming.
No.
Anybody in the world could stream whatever song they wanted. So that's the flip side. It's a two-edged sword. It's like, hey, Michael didn't have the benefit of streaming. Taylor Swift had the benefit of streaming, but Taylor Swift also doesn't have the benefit of everything before streaming. She doesn't have the benefit of people wanting to legitimately buy her album and stuff like that. And people did. So
think about it. If Taylor Swift, if people had to buy Taylor Swift music now, would she be as popular? No, she's gonna get watched by everybody else.
I don't know.
Honestly, that'd be an interesting. I'd be curious to see how it would go.
I don't know.
If streaming wasn't as big as it was, I'd be curious what the organic numbers would look like if people had to go out and physically buy CDs and stuff like, or vinyls like we had to do, previous.
Here's my thing about what y'all are asking, right? And I think people would, and the reason why I would is because I absolutely think, like right now, if people was buying hard copies or whatever, and you couldn't just download it and play it, yeah, I do think Taylor Swift would sell out like she is, and probably even more than she is selling out now. because she's world renowned. Like maybe not her first or second album, but I think by the time the third album comes out and things like that, and it's like, hey, this many people is downloading, this many people are streaming.
Mm-hmm.
When they combine together, hell yeah, I think they would go crazy.
Yeah, and
absolutely.
The other difference that you have to look at, there's two things. There's two big things. We talked about streaming. Remember, Michael didn't do press conferences. Michael didn't do interviews. He did albums. He did albums and music videos, and that was it. So again, what did Taylor Swift do? Interviews, music videos, everything. She did all the things. Just think about it.
But I think you can't. But I feel like you can't fault her.
No, I'm not faulting. What I'm saying is look at the two styles.
I'm not saying you're faulting her, but I'm saying like you can't fault her numbers as far as it goes for how much people listening to her music. You can't fault her numbers just because Michael Jackson didn't have that. And in actuality, if her numbers are as good as Michael's, when it comes to streaming, it's fair game because Michael didn't have the ultimate streams and unlimited streams.
You know what I want to do?
But Taylor Swift didn't have the overall, I could buy this album, buy this album, buy this album, buy this album, buy this album over and over again. So, and if you ask me, I still think Michael is better, but I just think like you got to look at Michael versus Taylor from two.
I'm gonna do by the end of the year. Hold on. I'm gonna do by the end of the year. Do with this movie that just came out. I'm going to test the stream levels of Michael and Taylor this year and see what the numbers look like. I'm gonna see what the numbers look like. I'm actually interested in it, honestly.
Like, I think the only and Micah can attest to this. I think the only numbers that we read that I guess you could compare that would give them a level playing field would be their tour numbers, because they both did do global tours.
Yeah,
that's and right now, hell, we talk about global tours. I don't know if y'all seen the numbers for the Weeknd's final tour. That he done amassed one of the highest grossing tours of all time. Like, it's in the billions. Like, is this final tour. So, like, I think you'd have to look at the tour numbers because that's the only thing because you can't, that's no matter what era you're from, tour numbers are tour numbers. Like, people gonna flock to your show, globally, nationwide, whatever the case. Like, that's because Taylor Swift's last tour did do phenomenal. Like, we're not gonna act like it didn't. It did phenomenal. So it's like, what did her best tour do versus Michael's best tour? And that's probably a much more.
The sad part is he didn't get a chance to do his best tour.
No, but his other.
Yes, he did.
He did some great tours.
Thriller was his best tour. Yes, it was.
He didn't do a Thriller tour. He had to do the Victory tour.
No, the Victory tour was not his. Thriller was Michael Jackson's best tour. Like, everybody would agree with that besides you. Like, Thriller was the best tour.
What tour is Thriller? What tour? Never mind. I'm not
No. Thriller had more than 8 singles on an album. Thriller is his best tour.
For it.
So
Thriller is his best tour for sure.
So here I got the exact info here. So there was no official solo Thriller World Tour during the peak of the success. It was the Victory tour. He performed. Basically, Joe cockblocked his tour.
He did,
because he was about to go on a Thriller tour.
He wanted to do the Thriller tour, the Thriller World Tour, but he couldn't do it because.
However, if he had done a Thriller tour, that might have gone down as one of the greatest tours of all time.
Exactly.
But which still, the Victory tour still grossed $75 million at that time. But in 1984, if you look at inflation and everything else now, 75 million is a lot.
Yeah, no, it is, but it was the way they sold the tickets was kind
correct.
of
Yeah, 100%. No, 100%. Yeah, that's unfortunate.
But
That's a tour we should have had. Like, just think about the visualization of the Thriller tour of how it would have looked. Like
there's no
you would have
skips.
it
There's
would
no
have
skips at all.
because now that we understand how Michael thinks, like
Yeah.
from a visual perspective, the Thriller tour would have been one of the most visually appealing, greatest things, period. But and speaking of just Michael and his brain, I went back and looked at something because Michael brings it up a lot. He talks about Michael Jackson's Super Bowl
Oh
performance.
yeah.
And so I didn't know this. I learned this last night, actually. I was looking at it last night at like midnight. Michael's glasses were the start. So he was on stage, glasses on, and they could not start the music until he removed his glasses. So when Michael got on stage and everybody was losing their mind, he stood there for 2 minutes. For 2 minutes. And like then he finally like so they like the studio director was over there just like, Michael, can we start? Like, can we start? Like what like
He said, "Oh for the aura, oh for the aura."
Yeah, like that shows you the power and influence of Michael.
Yeah, man.
Like that is something that we won't have replicated because he broke down so many doors and barriers. And you think about the collaborations and all the things that he did. Like we did a versus just now over adult Michael. We could have literally went WWE and made this triple threat with young Michael as well, and it would have been compelling.
Still,
It's like
battle.
it's an actual close battle. Like depending on what side of this equation you want to fucking be on, it just is. Like I just want to say, I think that might be it. I think Michael just might be the greatest artist of all time. Like, no matter how you want to frame it, like, don't matter the genre. Don't like people who wanted to there were people, me and Micah had a long talk about this one day. There were literally people who were trying to compare like Michael and Elvis. And it was like, first of all, don't do that. That's
Don't
disrespectful.
disrespect him like that. Don't
like, because first of all, I don't think Elvis is better than James Brown, but I'm gonna leave it right there. So anyway,
Sherrod does.
No, who? Don't put that on me. Don't put that on me, Ricky Bobby.
They say, hold on now.
Hey, Sherrod love Elvis. That's what they do. He love
listen,
that white shit.
You're right. Hey, you're right. Taylor Swift would never do a Super Bowl. And now I think if she did do a Super Bowl, I do think a lot of people would tune in because they would get let's call it what it is. They would get a break. I'm gonna say it like that. They would get a break.
Yeah, I give you that.
I'm gonna keep it at that level. I don't want to get too deep in the woods on that one, but it would be a break, even though it's not that serious. But some people would say that it's that serious because of the last 4 years. But yeah, no. If I had to choose a side on this one, no, I'm gonna lean towards Dark Michael.
Yeah,
but boy, if you ask me this question 10 times, I'm not even gonna lie to you, the answer gonna change. Because Light Michael got some haymakers that I'm just like, because I go back to that. Like I go back to Remember the Time and I go back to Black or White and They Don't Care About It. I was like, those are songs that were huge for my life. Like one of my college projects, I used Michael Jackson's Black or White because I did a project in humanities in black and white, and I couldn't think of another song, but Black or White just fit perfect. This is pre-Canva and video editing, but then you just think about that song, like the guitar, like like he was uniting races in a single video because he had black, white, Asians, he had everybody, and you were like, yo, this man really was.
In the beginning of the yeah.
He got everybody, and then remember the World song. Let's not forget. Like they even did a rendition of it, a modern day version. The Justin Bieber did the opening on. They had Lil Wayne in this motherfucker. Like think about that.
My life will never be the same, cause girl, you came and changed. That's how I feel. Hey, I'm going Black Mike. Black Mike is crazy.
So, like, the crazy thing about it is both sides of Michael had a part of me in It's just another part of me. Sorry. Had two sides of me when I was a kid. Billie Jean. I can't say
Black
like
Mike.
I know Billie Jean is the first Michael Jackson song I have ever heard. And
So that's okay. See, the first one I ever heard was "Smooth Criminal."
nah, I didn't hear. I heard
The first Michael Jackson song I heard was "Blame It on the Boogie."
Okay, yeah, because it was smooth. It was "Smooth Criminal," "Bad," Billie Jean. Then I heard "Dirty Diana" and everything changed. Every fucking thing changed when I heard "Dirty Diana."
Right.
Like everything changed. Like I was like, hold on, what is happening here?
Like, we didn't put bad in this song. We excluded bad out of the two options, or is bad on one side or the other?
Would "Bad" really be more? Wouldn't I guess "Bad" would really be on Dark Michael's side, wouldn't it?
It was like it's a transition. It's very very.
It is transitional, but I think be lean.
The way you make me feel will be Black Michael. It would absolutely be.
So I feel like the way you make me feel, the man in the mirror.
Yeah,
just can't stop loving you.
That's all Dark Michael.
Yeah, it's all Dark Michael.
That's all Dark Michael.
Liberian the girl is kind of it's little Light Michael. It's little Light Michael near the end. Light Michael, Speed Demon, Light Michael.
Yeah.
Just good friends, Light Michael.
Yeah.
Another part of me, Light Michael.
Yeah. Well, Speed. I mean, but Speed Demon. That's off the Dangerous album. Dangerous album is 1991 anyway. So
no, Speed Demon is on Bad.
No,
it's on Dangerous.
It's on Bad. I'm looking at it right now.
Oh yeah, you know what? Yeah, you might be right.
I'm like,
No. When I was doing my list of my deep cuts, as DJ Mike could be like, say it came up on why it was listed under Dangerous. I don't know, but that's what I'm looking at in my notes right now. But
no, I know Speed Demon because that was on the Wii. That was my thing. Speed Demon.
Oh shit.
I just think first of all, I think most of us agreed after Thriller, Michael Jackson went white. And I'm not saying Bad or Dangerous is white Michael, but I'm just saying like, yo, you know.
Yeah, Dangerous white Michael. For sure. For sure that's all white Michael right there. But Bad is split.
Yeah, it is. I mean, yeah. It is.
So
even though on the cover of Bad it is Light Michael, but
yeah, but still, you know,
it's like lightish. It's lightish. He's still got some brown undertones.
It's still coming around, you know.
Basically, that's basically his Drake album.
I like how you did.
You see what I did?
Yeah, I see. But no, so I personally, with this battle, I would have to go with Dark Michael, but due to the fact that in some of these Light Michael albums, I could skip some of the songs, but Dark Michael, there's no skips. I gotta play that through. So
Black or White, Remember the Time, Jam, Will You Be There, Dangerous.
Yeah, I could play that whole thing all the way through. It wouldn't even be.
You Rock My World. Yeah, bro. It's tough.
It is. That's what I'm saying. If you ask me this question again next week, it'll probably be Light Michael.
Yeah.
Like I'm dead ass. Appreciate you stopping through, Ethan. Hope that little girl don't keep you up all night. So while we're kind of there at this stage, I'm gonna drop my deep cuts because we're getting closer towards the end of the show, but I want to make sure we get them out there. So I'm gonna start with Heaven Can Wait.
Of course. Gotcha.
It's a good start to the deep cut. I'm gonna give you one that's kind of off the wall, and this one comes from the MTV Unplugged type of game, and this is Three Little Birds that he covered. It's one of those forgotten, right? Michael Jackson ones. Librarian Girl.
Librarian Girl is good as shit.
Like it's another one of those songs that literally gets forgotten about. So I was like, let me make sure.
It hasn't this past year due to the fact of
true. But when we talk about these deep cuts, we want to make sure people. But then, Why You Want to Trip on Me? And then last but not least, Break of Dawn.
Thank you. Y'all, but that's gonna be mine.
Liz, come on, I got you. I got you, brother. We ain't even have to see. We ain't even have to talk about it. You just, it's almost like you knew I was gonna do it.
Yeah.
But
so I give you some of mine. So it's hard to not copy you because a lot of mine, probably about 4 of mine on yours. But
okay.
so I'm gonna say Butterflies. The Butterflies, it was touching.
Wait, so you determined that one is an underrated one?
Yeah. People don't talk about it that much.
Shit, I do. That's on my top 10 of Michael Jackson songs. Like, what are we talking about? Like,
right. But
that is true what we talked about last night. You're right, because we did talk about some of those songs would be, if you ask people to name 5, right? Like Butterflies wouldn't come up for a lot of people.
Yeah. And the next one I have is his After Death album, Escape, which is A Place with No Name.
That's tough.
I got Love Never Felt So Good. I'm not gonna lie to you.
That's a great one.
Justin, yeah. Another one, Ghost.
Yeah.
Ghost,
really good.
Ghost,
really good cut.
Who Is It? That's one of my. If that song comes on, I gotta hear a couple moves.
I'm not mad at that.
And my other one was gonna be either Liberian Girl or Stranger in Moscow, but he said Stranger in Moscow before, so I was like, okay, I'll let that. So it'd be Liberian Girl.
What are your thoughts on Is It Scary? I had that one as like my honorable mention. I wanted to put it on the list, but I was like, I swapped it out at the last minute because I was like, I feel like I can find one that's a little deeper of a cut, but I still like it. I still like, Is It Scary? I still was a fan of it.
I can't remember. There's one song I don't remember the name of it too. That he did for a soundtrack, like that was like science fiction. That was really good. But Michael, you go. I'm gonna look for it.
I say Michael Jackson just be doing just random
side quests everywhere. Mike, you go ahead.
I will put in She's Invincible because it was not on the list. She's Invincible is a crazy track.
I'm a fan.
I will also put in the most gangster song Michael Jackson ever made for Blue Gangster. If you ain't never heard Blue Gangster, you got to. You got Michael Jackson was a Crip. I don't care what nobody says. He was.
Michael Jackson was a certified Crip.
You watch the movie. I mean, he was kind of leaning more towards despite him wearing a red jacket.
You like I kind of mess with that Seawalk. That's what saying
because that was off the was it the Escape? Escape? What the hell? What was the name of that album? Escape, right? Blue Gangster's off the Escape album. Yeah,
I think so.
I feel like it was because that was one of those like hit random tracks that you like. It wasn't his older stuff, but you knew.
But nonetheless, I think we got everything. I think we got everything covered tonight. So,
yeah. Oh, do you know where your children are? That was another one I thought about.
Yeah.
I thought about it because I was just like, okay.
But no, I sent you a video, GQ, if you want to load that one up. But yeah.
Bet.
So the story behind this video that you about to watch is the fact that in 8th grade, like I said, Billie Jean was, one of my first songs I listened to. 8th grade, I did a talent show and danced Billie Jean. Blew the roof off that motherfucker. Everybody, like parents, teachers, everybody, like it was up to me, like, oh my god, you can do the mic, da, 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 da. And this caused
shit.
Shut up. This causes video. Honestly, this was unrehearsed. This was a day of ask for me to do, and
he did it anyway.
I did it. I was like, "Oh, y'all doing what? Say less." So what y'all want me to do? Like, if you dance, it's this dance. Okay, cool.
Let's see what
I went off straight memory.
Okay.
The crazy part about that is, again, off straight memory, like no rehearsal. And that was just the impact. Like, even like now, I've showed my kids that video, and they're like, "Oh, Dad, that's cringe." Well, like at the same at the
Listen,
same time, it shows them,
I applaud you. I also applaud Barbers Hill for trying to put a little seasoning in their halftime show.
Yeah. That,
But I'm
let
gonna
me tell
leave
you,
that right where it's at.
let me tell you, they that was the last good performance they had. They
Okay.
tried to do it.
I wish I had the video, because like my sophomore year of high school, our show choir, we did Thriller, and we had performed that routine on stage, and I was like, man, I kind of wish I still had that. It'd been perfect to show. But it was great. No, that was cool. Like, especially because that was I was like, man, that's Barbers Hill versus GCM. GCM had only been on for 2 years at that point. That's crazy.
They were trash, dog water.
Yeah. Well, in everything but baseball. Because baseball, they was pretty good at baseball. Them and the Tascasita both were good at baseball. But anyway, I digress. DJ Michael B dropped out. I believe he probably fell asleep at the wheel. Or he died. Either way, he fell asleep at the wheel. So we'll do our closing thoughts. I'll let you start with our closing thoughts, sir.
So yeah, another great show. It's a special show because this is my top artist of my life. My whole life has been Michael. He's the reason why I dance. He's the reason why I have the ambition of working with kids the way I even do. But even like Saturday, I went to go to the movies when you was there, and I took my girls. I took my kids, and seeing them come out the theater trying to moonwalk, trying to stand on their toes, trying to do the kick, just warmed me up inside. I almost cracked a tear. Like, okay, all right,
I love that. I love that for you as a dad. That from one dad to another, I'm a fan of that particular part of it for you, for sure.
So,
No, no, I love it. No, this was fun. Like, we talked about it. You guys don't see a lot of the stuff that we do behind the scenes. Just understand, like, when we put shows like this together, they aren't just thrown together. They are not like some last minute thing of sorts, right? Like, there was actually a little bit of tension in the group from this particular show here, but it was both sides it was justified on both sides. Let's start there. Let's just start there. But this is what happens when you have a bunch of passionate men in a group chat. That's what happens. I think both sides of it were great. I think the pushback was valid on both sides, and I think the timing ended up kind of falling in line where it needed to fall in, just based off a couple of factors. But
yeah,
could we have done this show last week? Probably. I would have missed part of it because I hadn't seen the movie yet. I didn't watch the movie until Saturday. Took myself out on a date and enjoyed myself. And had me two very overpriced margaritas, but it's okay. It's okay. They were, at least, hey, listen, but they were strong. They were strong. I got to get a bartender. Probably my man had a heavy pour, so I felt like I was getting my $15 worth for shit sure. So shout out to Hookie, aka what used to be Showbiz. Still, a nice little hidden gem theater for you to go to, even if you just want to go on a date, if you want to go with the family, if you just want to go like I did by myself, you want to sit at the bar, have a couple drinks, have some. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Have some mozzarella sticks before you go watch a movie, and then bring all of it with you to the theater because you can. Because you can. That's the best part. They just gonna give you, instead of a glass, they're gonna put it in a plastic cup and you're taking them. It's great. I know there are other theaters that do it. Okay, I know, like Studio Movie Grill and Regal, all that. Okay, but everybody don't go to them places all the time, right?
We ain't get that.
Listen, we don't got that in the Baytown area. We can listen. Regal is 18 minutes away from my house. I'm cool with that. Studio Movie Grill, 28. Save 10 minutes. Save 10 minutes. Like, and I still get the option. I can watch a standard movie, 3D or IMAX, while I get a drink or I get some food. So I get what I want. And 9 times out of 10, it's very rarely sold out.
Yeah.
That's the other thing.
Very rare.
Like, it's very rare that you don't get, like, the fact that when I went to the 7 p.m. showing and there were so many empty seats, like, because I sat in the D row.
Yeah.
And people sat on the ends, but I had like 4 seats around me where there was nobody.
Yours was empty, but mine was you went to go see that 7. I want to go see that 6:45.
Yeah, because you wouldn't see the IMAX, right?
I saw an IMAX, and
you saw an IMAX. Yeah,
act out.
Yeah, we was chilling. Like it was easily 20 plus empty seats. Easy. Yeah. I could have moved. I could have moved around and been cool.
I don't like this angle.
You know what? Yeah, but I also like that I can pick my seat, so I knew where I was sitting. I was like, nah, this is cool. My neck ain't gonna hurt. It's like the perfect neutral spine. I can see everything, so it's perfect. But my closing thoughts are very simple. I enjoyed this. I'm glad that they waited as long as they did to do this film, and I appreciate the way that they did this film. I like that this didn't look like every other biopic we've ever seen. They left a lot of the racial stuff out of it. They left out the things that would take away from the art of the artist. They really let this movie encapsulate who Michael Jackson was through the eyes and the movement of Jafar. And I am grateful that they did that. Rotten Tomatoes and all you other old brittle ass critics, y'all know what the fuck y'all talking about. This fucking movie was great. I'm half tempted to go watch the motherfucker again because it was so good. Like,
movie critics don't watch the movie to enjoy the movie anymore.
No, they're all like, yeah, they're looking for what's wrong. Yeah. And truthfully, there wasn't a lot wrong with the movie. Like
a couple dates, men messed up, a couple.
Yeah, but I expect that though.
Yeah,
I expect a few dates to not be exactly right on par. Like that's okay. Like if they would have like got if they'd have got like the whole Jackson 5 thing wrong, okay, I was like, oh, okay, y'all kind of, but they didn't. You know what I'm saying? But when they started adding the animals and bubbles and the damn boa constrictor just chilling on the couch, I was like, oh yeah, they captured all. Yeah, he's hungry. He's hungry. How hungry? I don't know. He's hungry. And he was so chill about it. He was like, I'm that
scene was in the theater. Like when they say he's hungry, all you hear in the background, oh hell no. The lady.
we was in the theater. I don't know. We had a good blend of people in our theater because we was cracking up on some of that shit. Like we was clowning. And shout out to the trailers. My goodness, there was some dope ass movie trailer. Like the damn. I don't really watch a lot of this series, but I enjoyed that Hunger Games trailer.
Yeah.
That shit actually looked fire. I was like, hold on now. I don't really watch the Hunger Game, but I might go watch that because I like the way it started. I was like, y'all put them all on the little pedals. They had to run. I was like, hold on now. That's kind of fuck with that.
It's gonna be nice one. It's gonna be nice.
Yeah, like we got a lot of interesting movies coming out. Like now we're about to start the month of May. We got the Mandalorian and Grogu. You know what I'm saying? We got Scary Movie coming up soon. Like we got Devil Wears Prada 2. Like we got Spider-Man. Man, we might have to revisit our top movies of 2026 again because our list is starting to get stacked.
Honestly.
So not to mention the shows that are currently out. Daredevil, Born Again season 2 is out. The Darth Maul animated is out, which is phenomenal, by the way.
The Boys about to end.
Yeah, like I stumbled upon another show on HBO Max. That's a black anime that was written by Ianu. Phenomenal. We're on the second season of that. Great. Oh my god. Man, it's so good. It's so good. It's so good. Like I hate that I'm caught up. I wish I wasn't. Because I just want to keep watching all of it because it's so good. It's so good. It very much gives you Avatar vibes. It gives you Nickelodeon Avatar vibes, like straight up. It gives you with a hint of black, like that's what it gives you, and I love everything about it. It's like if they took Black Panther and turned it into a animated show and then added some Avatar to it. That's what Ianu is. It's great. I'm a big fan. So yeah, I just gave y'all some something you need to go watch. All right, if you have HBO Max and you like animes of sorts, you should definitely go watch this one because you'll like it. Run it up. All right. So like I said, chat. We appreciate y'all. Appreciate the other family coming on tonight. It was a great little unexpected pop-up, but to get the perspective of the OGs, man, that was great. Yeah. People who literally grew up during the era, saw it live, saw it face to face, saw everything. So it was great to get that perspective and to kind of hear the differences between the new movie versus the old and their perspective to kind of tie it all together. I love that.
Yeah.
I was a big fan of that. So, big major shout out to the other family who also puts on a phenomenal annual holiday party. Just want to put that out there for the y'all can't go, but I just want y'all to know that it's a great party that y'all can't go to. But the rest of us, it's invite only, but the rest of us are going to go, but y'all can't go. But it's a great party nonetheless.
I can't even get in.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Leg out. So like I said, appreciate the chat pulling up, man. Love you guys. Great job tonight. Can't wait for the next one. Be on the lookout. We're going to continue the Gentleman's Talk music series. Not sure which artists we're about to do next for this versus, but we've already started with NSYNC and Backstreet Boys. We transitioned into Michael Jackson. We got a list for y'all, so just be prepared for it. But as per usual, ladies and gentlemen, we love y'all. We appreciate y'all, and we are
Motivation in you and inspire the world to do what you can. If you love it, then fuck it, get through it. Mumble mentality activated. I waited for so long. Get burdens, I've outwaited. When you see me.